Not everything's a race, okay? You want a race? Go fast food, boil a hot dog. But sometimes you gotta take time with the things that matter, okay? Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Top Chef Tuesday. It has been quite a while. Last time we were all together 2 seasons ago. The entire kitchen was a monstrosity. I had like slop sinks, and counters pulled out, and no flooring. Got everything back on track, and I'm here for another episode of Top Chef Tuesday, where I get inspired by what I see on Top Chef the prior week. Whatever inspires me, I'm gonna bring it here to you. So there's 2 things that we're gonna focus on today. One was a risotto. They try to make it too fast. A lot of times I do these episodes running against a clock, much like the competitors do. However, this time, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm not gonna worry about time. I'm going to take my time with the risotto because risotto takes time. Yes, you can rush it. You can try to take some shortcuts, but you don't want raw risotto, especially when you're on Top Chef. Another thing that happened on Top Chef, Sacre Bleu, a French chef, decided that he was going to make langoustine carpaccio. You know carpaccio, it's with the beef, it's hammered nice thin, paper-like, and that's because it has the right proteins. When you have langoustines or shrimp, which I can only get my hands on, it's not good, right? I mean, you pound it, it's gelatinous, it's not something you really want to eat raw. Another critical mistake that he did not do is he didn't clean these guys, and then he smashed them so the guts were all over the place. The judges could taste them, and so it's very simple, right? You just run a knife down the spine, and you find the little entrails, and you pull them out, and that's it, right? Typically I do this over the sink, but because I'm shooting this episode, wanted to kind of demonstrate here for you all, right? So it's just a nice thin sliced cut. This one's clean. Okay, nice. That one's clean. You don't have to worry about that one. There we go. Okay, so look, as I've cut into here, you can see there's that ooey gooey brown stuff. So we've made that nice little cut, slip the knife underneath, pull it up, and I just use, that's it. You don't want to eat that. Gnarly. It's the intestinal tract. All right, so stick around. Gonna make a risotto, nice little shrimp risotto. Taking our time. I made some shrimp stock earlier. It's gonna be really flavorful. I'm gonna have the recipe when we're all done. I am so happy to be back. Ciao. All right, guys, so I have some butter and olive oil here. Gonna drop in some onions. Start building our flavor. Good thing about risotto is it'll take on the flavors of what you're making. We're gonna toast the rice, okay? So if you're not familiar with risotto, it's arborio rice. It's a little thicker, it's more plump. It's not like thin long grain rice, and it's extra starchy. And the reason we cook arborio longer, 1, it's thicker, 2, it has that extra starch, really needs to release that, and that's when you get that nice saucy rice, okay? Some people make their risotto soup style, like a little sloppy. I don't like it that way. I like mine creamy, but tight. Not too tight. Well, it's kind of tight. So, we start. We got this guy going. The onion's starting to soften. We're going to toast our rice. It's going to soak up that butter, soak up the oil, start soaking up the flavors from the sweating onion, and we've also developed a nice broth, okay? I'm gonna be cleaning the shrimp while this goes in some broth. I have a little broth here, I have extra. I always find recipes where you're making risotto, you're kind of running out of broth at the end, and then you're like, oh God. So typically what I do is I start with chicken stock and get it nice and soft, but then I've made a shrimp stock with this. Just using shrimp shells, vegetables, like leeks, celery, carrots, a few aromatics, some water, let it go. And I use that towards the end because I really want to get this seafood flavor coming through the dish. And the way to do that is once the rice has started to open up and it's ready to accept the flavor, that's when you want to hit it with your really, really tasty broth. All right, so we have some onions in there. We're toasting our rice, and now we're going to start the liquid portion. Put about a quarter cup in here. A little more. That's starting to entice that rice. Saying, come on, baby. Sauna time. Let's get to the party. It's going to evaporate really quick because this pan's very hot. Shortcuts we mentioned. A lot of times they're telling you, all right, go ladle by ladle, ladle by ladle. And you have to watch. And it's true. You have to do that. Except for the first time that you put your stock in. It's very simple. Take it, pour it in, and cover the rice. Okay? That was my chicken stock. This is my shrimp stock. And you want to have it nice and warm. Okay? You don't want cold stock going into your hot rice because it's going to slow up the process of the cooking. Okay? We're getting a nice boil on here. Starting to smell very nice. Right? We have a little bit of that sweetness from the wine, the whole rounded flavor from my homemade chicken stock. Pretty soon, it's going to be smelling like the ocean because we are going to get our shrimp in. And while I'm sitting here waiting, I'm going to go ahead and pour myself some vino. We're cooking with vino, we're drinking with vino, we're having a good time. So, it's going to take a while. Once it really soaks up all of the liquid, then you're going to put in about, I don't know, a cup at a time. And you're just letting it go. Nice and slow, letting it develop, letting the rice take in that stock. And then I'm going to finish preparing my shrimp. You pop those in at the end. Those take like, I don't know, 4 minutes, and you're good to go. We're also going to do some other aromatics, some lemon, some herbs. Hit it at the end. Really make this thing nice, juicy, and luscious, like this white wine. That is some good stuff. When you're cooking with wine, use the good stuff, right? Don't use crappy wine. You're going to get a crappy dish. All right? So, it's going to be a while. Ciao. Probably asking yourself, when do I add the stock? And you have to listen. Ooh. Listen to that, starting to pop. You hear those sizzles. You don't see any stock bubbling at the surface. But listen. Right? It's drying up. That's precisely when you want to add more stock. How much stock? Probably about 2 ladles. Okay? Here's this lovely seafood stock that I was using. Okay? And just ladle it right around the pan. And now, hopefully you saw that the rice looks different as well. It's nice and plump. Oh yeah, baby. It's starting to release those starches and starting to thicken up our sauce here. Okay? Remember those grains, you could tell they were thicker than normal grains of rice, and now look at them. Super, super plump. Right, so I added that first round of stock, probably about 2.5 cups. Then I added 1 cup of water. This is my first go of the fish stock. And this is just about to lose the raw stage. It's still toothsome, but you can still taste that graininess. That it's not gritty, but you can taste the grain of the rice. And I'm imagining it's about right around this point when the one chef said, all right, it's done. And she's from Italy. You want to kind of take her at her word. When I went to Italy, they do like to serve things a little, they say serve it al dente. I never knew what al dente really meant until I went to Italy. And there's some things that really blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, okay, I can get away with this. It doesn't have to be supple, right? You don't want it gummy ever. That's bad pasta or rice, right? You want it to be nice and supple, but still resisting when you eat a little bit. One place served us pasta. I mean, it was like they probably boiled that dry pasta for like 2 minutes, right? And it was didn't like that. Everyone has their own preferences of how they want everything. This time that we have spoken, it is nearly gone through about 2/3 of the stock that I put in. This is when you really want to pay attention. I've already got my aromatics. I zested some lemons. I'm going to chop up some parsley when I put a little more stock in here. And then that's when I'm going to drop the shrimp. Okay? So, stick around. We're getting very close. I don't know how long it's been. I feel like it's been 20 minutes, maybe 25. And so I'm saying it's probably going to be another 10. It takes about 30, 35 minutes from pan to plate for a proper risotto. All right, so what do you do when you have that time? Have a little drink. Enjoy life. Prep, but enjoy yourself. All right, ciao. Give a little taste here. We're at creamy stage. We're at creamy stage. Places, everyone, places. All right. So, I'm gonna hit it with a little last of the broth. Our nice, flavorful stock. Okay. Throw in our cleaned shrimp, right? Yep, just throw them on top here and cook from the surface temperature on the bottom. And since we don't really want to mess around with the texture of our risotto and cook this any longer than we really may want to, I'm going to put a top on this pan. It'll reduce the time to cook. It'll trap the steam in. It'll bring it from the top down. But before I do that, a little more sea salt. First time I'm seasoning with pepper. Okay, that's good to go. For good measure, we're gonna have more of this, but put a little butter in there. Because butter makes everything better. And we're just gonna let this go about 2 minutes, then I'll mix it up. We got that cheese. Gonna grate some cheese on here, throw in more butter. The very, very last, I mean, we're talking like probably 2 tablespoons of broth. Give it that last hit of flavor. And then I have some aromatics of chopped parsley, some lemon zest. I also have a little thyme in there. And standing by just in case I have the zested lemon, because if I feel there isn't enough lemon flavor, we can always hit it with a little juice. All right? And then we just taste, we taste, till we know it's done. And when do we know it's done? When it's not raw rice, when the shrimp are cooked through, but not overcooked, and when everything is saucy, delicious, thick, lovely. All right? Because I gab, I'm Irish, sorry. It's been 2 minutes. Look at this. Look at this. That is glorious looking shrimp, okay? The heat's still up. I'm gonna drop in the rest of the butter. Now, if I have any true Italians here watching, like the real back in the motherland Italians, I know what I'm doing. I know we're not supposed to do this. I know. I never do it myself. But they make lobster risotto here. They make seafood risotto here. I'm putting cheese with my shellfish. I'm sorry. I never do it, but it's time. that maybe even Mangia McCann gets out of his comfort zone and does something an ugly American would do. All right. So, very last of the broth. Our aromatics here. Sprinkle them on. Get some good olive oil. Nice little drizzle. Lower the heat now to medium low. It's going to get a nice simmer. A little more salt. A little more pepper. We are just about the point where we are done with the shrimp. They have not tightened up yet. I just see a hint of opaqueness in there, which means I got about like 30 seconds. I did not lose my tasting spoon. Oh my God. Creamy risotto. Still al dente. You got a little bit of that sauce. I'm tasting the shrimp. I got a nice little hit of acid from the lemon. I am just going to do just a tiny bit more. Make sure no seeds get through there. Right, see, we got one. Just a little lemon. A little lemon goes a long way. All right, we're going to kill this heat. Just do a nice little plating here, okay? Nice little plating. You can see the lemon. We'll get a nice shrimp on top. And just grab a little thing here, clean it. Good. Hit with just another little crack of pepper. A little bit of salt. And here you go. Lovely, creamy shrimp risotto. See, as I said, I like it tight. Does not mean that the rice is not creamy. Oh my God. So hot, so delicious. Welcome back. It's Top Chef Tuesday. Mangia McCann's back. Top Chef Tuesday. Hopefully every Tuesday. We'll see what happens. Life happens. Sometimes things get in the way, but I'm here for you. We're learning from mistakes of others. We learn from our own mistakes. It's fine. We don't have to beat anybody down about it. We learn, right? We take our time. We love our food. Not everything's a race, okay? You want a race? Go fast food, boil a hot dog. But sometimes you gotta take time with things that matter, okay? See you all again very soon. Ciao.